Online by directing your browser to IllinoisFarmRadio.com on your favorite electronic device. You'll find the guest list for this week's WHOW morning and noon farm shows, the latest commodity prices, and farm news from the USDA, Illinois Department of Ag, Illinois Farm Bureau, and more. Bookmark this URL on your favorite device, IllinoisFarmRadio.com, IllinoisFarmRadio.com, and be in the know.
News time is 10 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. The facilities at Clinton High School have been a hot topic over the last several months as late last year a multi-million-dollar renovation of the high school football and track complex was announced on top of last summer's renovation to the high school gymnasium and high school cafeteria. On the WHOW Morning Show School Road Tour on Wednesday, Athletic Director Matt Keppel told Regional Radio while the sports facilities have gotten a lot of attention, he stresses the rest of the building has seen and will see its share of improvements as well.
You know, we here at the district, I know a lot of people keep calling it a sports, sports facility, but and we have done a lot with sports. Let's not take anything away from what we have. But we have a facilities plan here that's in place over the next 5 or 6 years. You know, you're talking science labs and everything else. So I always like to make everybody aware that there is other things going into it other than just sports, because I know that's a big topic and a hot button topic out there in the community. So, it's not lost on me that, our auditorium needs some work, our labs need some work, our family and consumer science labs need some work. But, it is nice when we get a gym, because people don't realize how much our gyms are used by our community. And then you take that sports complex we're going to do outside the track and the football area. The big reason for the turf is because it's now it's becoming a multi-use facility, as opposed to when it's just a grass field. I've got to really try to keep as many people off of it as I can in the fall, because that grass has got to stay for, 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks. So with us doing it now, PE can be out there every day. Marching band can be on it every single day. There's no more, we got some rain, let's keep off. So we're hoping it's going to get the use that we've really, really expected here. And let's be honest, the vision that we've got for it, it's going to be beautiful when it's done.
Principal Jerry Wayne told Regional Radio there are a lot of plans in place to address areas of need inside the building, and while they're not flashy nor often visible to the public, they are things that need to be addressed.
A lot of people in the community may get the false impression that it is just all about the sports facilities and everything else, but the reality of it is, as a district, we're working hard on trying to make sure we're looking at a holistic picture and trying to do everything that we have. The hard part about it is the athletic stuff is the nice shiny stuff that everybody's going to get that opportunity to see, and that everybody's going to be able to go, wow, that's really neat. And a lot of times the facility stuff that is more tied to the educational side of things don't get seen as much and aren't going to be able to be seen as much into the future. But make no mistake, they're definitely looking at ways to try to make sure that we get our internal facilities from a teaching standpoint up to date as well. All of it is going to take time. All of it's going to be about the idea of how do we take care of the money that we do have available, be fiscally responsible, but making sure that we're bringing things up to date. Obviously, we just spent a great deal of time, effort, and money into updating the kitchen facility, which was an absolutely essential. And I know that's not teaching, but it is an element of our kids' experience in this building. I think it's been a fantastic addition. And the next element that I know that we're in the process of looking at that our community isn't going to be like, oh wow, but you don't realize how big of a deal it is we've got to get this building rekeyed. Our doors for our classrooms are, again, 1970, 1971, when this place was built. I think they're original in there, and they're having some issues with it. So we got to get that redone. That won't be cheap, and it won't be flashy, and people aren't going to see it. But I'm going to tell you, from a safety and everything else perspective, it's an important element, and that's something that's in the process. We're going through and working with some people to try to get that taken care of, hopefully this summer, or at least in phases over this summer and the next couple. I know we also have plans of trying to work on updating the science lab area. Is in the works. I don't have a definitive timeline of exactly when but I would expect that'll be happening in the next couple or 3 years. We also want to make sure that we update our fax area, where Gail Bowman does a great job of really, if people go onto our Facebook page, they would see so many things that she that really gets kids interested, whether it's talking about the cooking side of things, whether it's talking about the child development side of things. She just does a really great job, and our kids love her and all that she brings to the table in that classroom. So there's a lot of really good things that are going to be happening within the facility side that I know that, again, the community won't necessarily see, but rest assured they are things that are definitely in the process. It's certainly not just all about sports.
As it relates to the football and track complex, Wayne and Keppel hope to see the home and away bleachers flipped in the summer of 2025, and that will have the press box. The new press box will have individual press rooms. Keppel indicates they hope to model their press box after the renovation at IVC in Chillicothe. Also, as a part of the WHOW Morning Show School Road Tour Wednesday, student leaders at Clinton High School highlighted some of the things they are involved in. Davis Howell is the FFA chapter president and told Regional Radio the FFA is gearing up for its always popular strawberry fundraiser.
In the month of February, we're getting ready to start our annual strawberry sales, which I know a lot of people look forward to. So if you're interested in purchasing strawberries as a fundraiser to help Clinton FFA, or if you bought some in the past and looking to be a return and help support Clinton FFA, make sure to look at our Facebook page, Clinton FFA Agricultural. Out to any Clinton FFA members that you know, and we can help you get your flats of strawberries. So you can either buy half a flat, which is 8 quarts, or half a flat, which is 4 quarts. Mm-hmm. A full flat is going to be $30. Half flat is $16, and those are fresh strawberries from Florida that are just picked, a week before they get shipped up here. So they're very fresh. A lot of people say that they're better than what you can buy at the grocery store, and I think that is true. So if you're interested in some farm fresh strawberries that were just picked, are going to be picked in about a week here, and then you'll know they'll be delivered in February, very close to when you order them. Definitely look for that. Look for it on Facebook and make sure to order some.
Carla Ramirez is the student council president and says she encourages her fellow students and students coming into high school to get involved and try new things.
So some of my officers right now, some of them, I know there's a few that would like to go for president next year, and I would definitely support it because they are hardworking people who want to get things done. As for the regular person, like incoming freshmen who don't know what to get involved in, I say get involved in student council. You get to have an opinion and you get to learn how to work with others, and that's very beneficial for you, not just in high school, but in real life. Mrs. Minder and I, the coordinator, have been working closely with 4-H, trying to incorporate some programs into our high school that we think would be beneficial for students because, as you know, high school is mostly academic. We are thinking more of trades that we could offer as programs outside of school, but in cooperation with both student council and 4-H.
Howell and Ramirez both are seniors at Clinton High School. With more wintry weather on the way to central Illinois, local authorities have some reminders of safety and caution for the public. Snow and rain are likely tonight into Saturday. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers on the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday told Regional Radio, with snow, rain, and wind in the forecast, things could get treacherous in central Illinois.
We've been pretty fortunate so far this year. We've had a lot of 50s, 50s through December and even early January, but we're in the Midwest. We're in central Illinois, and here it comes. So, this rain the last couple of days, fortunately rain, but it's created a lot of mud and a lot of standing water around, and it's about to get hard. So, I think maybe some weather this afternoon, maybe into this evening, but also then I think Friday is when it really comes. And I think right now the prediction is 5 to 8 inches of snow. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best, I guess, in a lot of these, we've prepared for some big winter storms and then never got them, and I'm not going to say that that's disappointing, but, we do need to prepare. We need to be prepared, and I hope that we don't need it, but we need to be prepared for it and not make that assumption that it won't happen. So, they're talking 5 to 8 inches of snow, and worse yet than that is the amount of wind that they're talking to come with it in the days preceding that. So I think 10 to 25 mile an hour winds. You take 2 inches of snow and that kind of wind, and you're going to have some problems. And so
temperatures are going to fall out starting Saturday, and Chief Lowers says now is the time to begin preparing. He implores folks not to only consider your home and needs during this time, but also be mindful of those pets.
And then probably even worse yet is I think starting about Saturday is the temperatures are going to drop. And we're talking single digits and high winds and wind chills well below zero. So you know what? There's a lot to take into consideration there. And now is the time to prepare, not on Saturday or Sunday. I mean, now is the time to get ready for that. With this frigid weather, obviously making the necessary preparations for pets. Making sure that they have shelter. If we get to those temperatures, they just have to come inside, even if into a garage or something like that. But they've got to have adequate shelter, food and water at all times, of course. They don't have the choice to go in and be in a warm car or be in the warm house. They rely on you. So having the responsibility of taking care of those pets in these frigid temperatures, and also checking on those elderly neighbors and family members and things of that nature.
According to Chief Flowers, some smaller measures to take are keeping that gas tank in the car at least half full so your vehicle is more likely to start in the event you need to travel. Additionally, he says it is important someone knows where you're going if you need to venture out.
When it comes to driving, we certainly recommend that you keep your gas tanks half full at all times, overnight, everything, just in case of an emergency, if you had to get up and go somewhere. Avoid unnecessary travel and allow extra time. Always let someone know where you're going and the route you intend to travel. Stick to more frequently maintained and traveled roadways. Always have a winter safety kit that includes jumper cables, a small shovel, a warm blanket for each passenger of the car, and make sure that there's enough warm clothing. We think about jumping in the car. Well, we're going to be in the car, so we don't need that extra clothing. Well, if that car would become disabled, you are. So making sure that everybody has adequate clothing for the weather and a warm blanket, flashlight with extra batteries, snacks and water, and certainly a cell phone with a charger and emergency contact numbers. Another good thing to throw in the trunk of that car is some kitty litter or something. You get slick stuck on the ice, something like that, to gain some traction. Clear all the windows and headlights and taillights before you take off. I see people in the morning taking off and they've got just a little strip looking through their windshield. Take that extra time to be able to see. It's not only a violation of the law to have that windshield obstructed, it's safety for you and everybody else on the road. Increase stopping distances and slow down and move over for emergency vehicle. If stranded or stuck, activate your hazard lights, stay in your vehicle, and immediately call for assistance. Staying in your vehicle is much safer, not only from the elements, but you're surrounded by that protection of that vehicle.
Chief Flowers also reminds, be aware of any emergency vehicles that may be on the roads and give them their space to get to those people in need. The Kenney Heritage Association is hosting its annual Pancake and Sausage fundraiser this Saturday. Board Vice President Bob Marsh indicates the annual breakfast again is Saturday from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Kenney Community Center.
We're going to be holding our annual Pancake and Sausage breakfast this Saturday, the 13th, from 6 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. At the Community Center, which is located at 101 Johnston Street in beautiful downtown Kenney. We're going to be having an all-you-can-eat meal with freshly grilled pancakes, hand-formed, fresh grilled sausage patties, juice, milk, and coffee. And it's all you can eat for $8 a person, and kids and under 6 are free. So we'd love to have everybody come out and join us.
Marsh reminds the Kenney Heritage Association seeks to preserve the history of Kenney through a variety of efforts.
It's a group that was formed in 1995. People from the Kenney area who wanted to see the legacy and the vitality of the village of Kenney continued. And they purchased the building that belonged to the International Order of Oddfellows that's over a century old, and spent a lot of time and sweat and money getting it to look like just the beautiful center that it is right now. The primary goal of the association is to provide this community center and to upkeep it, and to carry on the legacy of the history of the village of Kenney. Yeah, we put on a couple of events every year for fundraising. We participate in the Kenney Days, which happens in July, and we just do a lot of the civic events here in town. And then we host groups here in this building. It's a wonderful facility for family reunions and graduation parties, for funeral dinners, for corporate company parties and gatherings. And there's a great little museum on the upper floors that's really cool. Yeah, the museum is a place where you can see displays on some of the people who come from the Kenney area over the years, including 2 former Major League Baseball players from the early 20th century. There's military uniforms, Clinton and Kenney school band uniforms, trinkets, and old tools from the past of the agrarian history of this area. It's just a really neat place to go. Lots of tributes to the Kenney School and the various classes that graduated from the school here in Kenney over the years.
Marsh reminds the breakfast is from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Kenney. If you'd like a to-go meal, contact him at 607-271-0617 to have those ready when you arrive. You can also learn more about the Kenney Heritage Association by finding the group on Facebook. 24 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Plenty more to get to coming up on the WHOW Morning Show.
We are celebrating winter here at Baum Chevrolet Buick. This is Scott Baum in Clinton and Farmer City. Start the new year off with a new Chevy Silverado. We have the right Silverado to get your hauling and towing jobs done, like our 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s in gas or diesel with several trim levels, custom, LT, LTZ, or even high country. Celebrate winter today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
25 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. The message from IDOT has been and always will be, don't crowd the plow, and for good reason. This week, 4 IDOT plows were struck by vehicles. Paul Wappel, IDOT spokesperson, says no serious injuries were reported.
I really try every single day to think about ways that we can stand together.
Please give these operators, space. These are big pieces of equipment they operate. It's hard. You'll see them, but they may not see you, because there's so much going on. And the other thing is, the road in front of the plow is not going to be better than what's behind the plow. Also, if a plow gets hit, we have to inspect it and check it. So that means that plow is potentially, taken out of service for however long, and then that means the road will take that much longer to get cleared. And it just makes sense. Just give them space so they can do their job, and everybody will be safe.
IDOT is getting ready for another strong winter storm that could impact roadways by the end of this week. The state's second-in-command wants to help women with financial literacy in the new year. It's part of a program that Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton calls We Thrive. The goal is to bring diverse groups of women together to listen and learn from one another.
I really try every single day to think about ways that we can stand together and uplift each other's voices and really build pathways for women and girls to thrive. As I always say, when women thrive, we all thrive. So last month, we launched the We Thrive initiative that's really focused on women's financial freedom and resilience. We want to build up confidence in women to feel more confident about their money and how they manage their money, and also to just create more pathways to them for them to have access to the resources that the state has to offer. There's a lot of things that we have done over the last 5 years of our administration, and we want to make sure that women know where to go and what they have to offer so that they can continue to move forward.
As the spearhead of the program, Lieutenant Governor Stratton is hosting a series of We Chats. The small group discussions are designed to bring everyone to the table to learn about financial freedom and well-being. The first blast of Arctic air is expected to return to enter the nation over the weekend, bringing with it sub-zero temperatures in some locales.
It has been a mild winter to date for most of the nation, yet USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey says a shift has occurred in recent days.
We have seen a pivoting of the bitter cold into western North America. There's actually a very cold air mass that is banked across western Canada into eastern Alaska, and that is going to continue to rotate southward.
And thanks to a series of active weather systems passing across the nation this week, more of that cold air will be drawn down into the U.S.
So by the time we get through storm number 3, late this week and into the weekend, we're going to see some bona fide Arctic air making its way into the United States for the first time this winter.
As places like the Dakotas and Montana go from record-setting December warmth to sub-zero temperatures this weekend.
We could see temperatures dipping below minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit across parts of the northern high plains.
I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
How many bushels of grains and oil seeds are being stored across the country? In just a few hours, USDA gives us a better idea of that. Gary Crawford has this report.
This Friday, the USDA will not only release final production numbers for this past season's major crops like corn and soybeans, but also will come out with its new look at grain stocks.
That stocks report will provide the current estimate of the amount of on and off farm stocks for all of the grains and oilseeds.
The amount of stocks as of December 1st. So USDA Outlook Chairman Mark Jekanowski says,
in some sense, that can be viewed as our beginning stocks, those volume of commodities that were harvested this fall that went into storage and will be marketed over the rest of the course of the marketing year.
Mark's Outlook Group will then be forecasting how that marketing will go for the various crops, including forecasts for such things as exports and prices. All of this information.
Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network News is now.
SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The United Nations top court has